Right, I just thought I'd jump on and do a quick little demonstration about the Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. I used these in a class this week and everybody loved them. I'll just show you the pack. This is the the set. So you get, there's 4 that make up the sunflower, and then there's also one with leaves, multiple different shaped leaves, snowflakes, and the houndstooth. So I've already gone ahead and used the houndstooth on my little tag here. So that's with some pecan pie ink on there. So that's quite a cute little one, which I've used in that same manner for a couple of different projects now. Excuse me. Okay, so the first step is to get your pieces set. So I've got, you can cut a piece that's the size of the masks, because then you would get your leaves. See how the leaves are slightly wider than my paper here? But I didn't, I already had these 2 pieces of vanilla cut, so I'm just going to use them separately. But you can do one big piece that would do the all of the masking. So just for this, I'm going to tape down this piece of card. And you can tape the mask as well, just to hold it while you're working. And it's a good idea to actually mark, so that each mask has a number and there's a notch in the corner. So I've just put a pen mark where the notch is, and also on these 2 sides, so it's easy to match up the next one, because the next one is you're going to match up these points, and then it will be in exactly the right place. So I've got my excuse me. Oh, now I didn't find a brush for that colour. Yes, I have. So this is Petal Pink. I thought this would make a nice first colour. So my first colour I'm doing fairly light, and I want this to be sort of like the tips of the flowers. And as usual when you're blending or sponging, you ink up your brush and then start on your paper. Although with a lighter colour you can kind of get away with it a bit more, but you don't want to end up with a dark blob of colour straight on your paper, because it's very hard to blend out. In fact, it's near impossible. Okay, so that's our first colour, and you can of course just have a little peep, lift it up and just see how it's going. So I'm quite happy with that amount of colour. The next one I'm going to use is Calypso Coral, and with this one I'm not going to go over the whole flower, so I'm only going to come out on the petals to about sort of halfway out, and that gives you the 2-tone effect. So start in the middle and just go out as far as you sort of want this quite bright as a contrast against that lighter colour I did to start with. You just keep working until you're happy with the level of colour, and again I can just lift that up, have a little peep, and I might actually go back over with some more Petal Pink. And this is actually where the different sizes of brush can come in handy too. Most of mine are wet actually from my class, so I'm just going to use this big one, but a smaller one would be quite good here on the smaller flower. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of the flowers on my project, but we'll colour them all in. Now, because I've used that same brush, it's going to be harder to add. I wanted to add some more of that lighter ink again. See how we get on. Just feeling it's a little bit light, so I'm just doing the tips now. And it really is just a case of I guess trial and error, you know, working out different colour combinations and how dark you want it. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I might just do a little bit more of the dark one now on that big flower. These other two are slightly darker. That's getting there, that's better. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so number 2, so this was mask number 1. Mask number 2 is actually the leaves, but I'll come back to those and we'll skip ahead to number 3. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up on my paper here. But also you can see through, so now I can see that those are pretty well lined up for the centres of the flowers. And I'm going to use wild wheat because I've already started my card and I've got a wild wheat base which has been embossed with the Fern 3D embossing folder. So that's why I chose wild wheat, to incorporate that into the actual colouring of my flower. So that's the lighter of my two colours. You put the lighter one on first. How are we looking there? Oh yeah, that's nice. And then I'm going to follow that up with the 4th layer. That's why washi tape's so good for this. Just peel it off and put the next one down. And again, you can see through it and see where your centres are going to end up, and just move it slightly if you want to. Okay. So this I'm using pecan pie. Oh yeah, liking it. Okay, so that's the flowers done. So we'll take that mask off. And these are a lovely smooth plastic, so that the ink's just going to rub off that really easily when I come to cleaning up. Okay, so now I've got, oh, so that's my flowers. That's how they came out. I'm pretty happy about that. I think it's going to coordinate well with my card. So I've now got the leaves. I don't really even have to line them up with that, but just make sure that they're all on the paper. So if I turn it that way. And actually that is a little bit wasteful because I'm not actually doing a card front. I'm going to be cutting these pieces out. I might just do each leaf and move the paper. In fact, I could even squeeze them in. So I've got a gap down there, just to save on card. And I'm doing Old Olive. I'm going straight on this time to make it a bit darker. Oh, my desk has a creak. I can hear it when I'm sponging. Okay, so there's one leaf. I'm not sure how many I'm going to use, but I'll do them all. Squeeze another one in there. Okay, and one last one down in that corner. So it's super easy to use, these masks, and as you can see I've kind of used it a bit differently to how it's intended, but if I had a larger piece of card, I would have just done it all as one thing. Okay, so now I just have to cut them out. And I cut them out using with a little edge of the vanilla showing. Just cut that off. It's easier, I find, with smaller pieces. And also if you move the card rather than the scissors. So the scissors are just, I'm squeezing, you know, down, but for the direction I'm moving the card around. We've had a lovely day here today. We just had a little bit of rain earlier, just a wee while ago. Had to run and get the washing in. But over the weekend it was very windy, so it's been a nice calm day today. And quite warm too. Actually, it was very warm in the night. Who knows, maybe summer is just around the corner. I quite like how these leaves are not sort of solid. They're got those white you know, vanilla lines showing through. Quite a nice look. Okay, and then we do the same with the flowers. I've been busy making cards today for the decoration on the goodie bags for our event, which is in 2 weeks' time. We still have a few tickets to that. It's called Craftable. It has its own website, craftable.co.nz. And the event is in Pocono on Saturday the 28th of October. So I've seen plenty of demonstrators using these masks straight on your card. I know some people don't like fussy cutting. I don't mind it. But you can use them, you know, straight on your card base if you want to as well. I've seen people use them, you know, just stamped, stenciled onto their card, and some people have stenciled them onto their card and then used embossing folders over the top, which is quite a nice look as well. So you don't have to do the fussy cutting. But as you can see, you can do it fairly quickly. I am a bit of a perfectionist, but I've got used to just reminding myself as I go that when you leave, you know, one gap might be a little smaller than the other, one part you might leave a bit extra card, and actually once it's all cut out, and like that last line there wasn't straight, but once it's all cut out and on your card or your project, you actually don't notice. So us perfectionists can give ourselves a break. Okay, on the home straight, last flower. I don't even know if I'll use them all, but might as well get it cut out. You can fast forward this bit. Right, there we go. I'll get rid of those bits of rubbish. Okay, so now we're ready to mount them onto our card. So I might put the I've got some Pebble Path textured ribbon here. I was using the wild wheat earlier, but I've run out, so I thought this one can have a contrast. It almost looks black, doesn't it, with the black card base. Do a double knot because it does tend to slip otherwise. Right. And that's just vanilla baker's twine that I'm tying that with, but you could use linen thread. Okay. So then we've got our gorgeous flower, some leaves. Maybe we'll go that way. Yeah. Or should we use the larger one? Oh, yes, maybe the larger one. Yeah, make it like that. Okay. So I'm going to use dimensionals. So just actually I'll put that one, cut one in half. I do have some little ones somewhere, but I've misplaced them. I normally take them to the classes and then they stay in the class box, and I don't seem to have them at my desk. I might do this one next. So now this leaf is going to overhang the tag. So what I'm going to do is just cut 2 edge pieces, dimensional, and put one on top of the other, like that. And then when I'm ready to stick that to the card, it will be at the same height. Like that. Okay, I've got that one on now. I've just got this one, so I can just put my dimensionals. Probably going to need half over there. So if I put them on the actual flower, I wouldn't have any idea. It might hit the leaf or it might hit this flower here. So if you put them on the base that you're adding the element to, then just helps with the placement. Now I can see that one, so I've just got to be careful where I go. It's the downside of that. Okay. Excuse me. Now I was going to I'll put the tag on dimensionals as well. never have enough dimensionals. Okay, I think I'll trim that tag a little bit, aiming for the middle there. And I'll just give this a little trim up. Good, I'm happy about that. Oh, that's a very pleasing little combination. So that was petal pink and calypso coral for the main part of the flower. And then the inside was wild wheat and pecan pie with old olive leaves. So I hope you've enjoyed my demonstration of the masks. So I've used two here. I've used the sunflowers and the houndstooth. And I did actually case Kayla. I'll just find the sample. Here it is. This is the one we did in class. So this was Kayla, I think it's Kayla Renee. She's from Australia. And I really liked her bright colours that she did. And she did the floating circle technique as well. And I changed the sentiment on this one because I didn't have what she used. But loved her card, and all the people in the class loved it too. So that's what inspired me to use it again on this particular project for something else. Yeah, so I hope you consider adding the Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks to your order and have lots of fun and creativity with it. Okay, thanks a lot.
Hey, if you wanna play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let us see inside your mind.